Yeah, we'll get started in just a moment. You don't need too much for this practice. If you have a yoga mat, that's awesome. You can place it similarly to mine, but you actually probably want to be facing me. So placing your mat more like this. If you don't have a yoga mat, that's okay too. You can grab a towel or just any space on the floor is fine. You actually don't really need padding for most of what we're going to do today. Yeah. So most importantly, you want space around you. Make sure that you've cleared out space, moved your coffee table aside like mine that you can see in the corner here. And you might want to play some soothing music also, since I won't be playing music, so you can pick up my voice a little bit better. All right, we're going to get started. It's going to be a 15 to 20 minute yoga practice today. We will breathe, we will move, and we will connect together and to ourselves. Start by making your way to a comfortable position on your mat. Maybe that means you're sitting, maybe that means you're lying down, whatever that means for you today. If you're seated, you'll want to take your hands onto your legs. If you're lying down, you can rest your arms by your sides. Wherever you are, close your eyes and tune your attention into your breath. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of your belly with each breath in and each breath out. Let everything else around you slowly disappear. You might notice some thoughts passing through your mind, thinking about what you have to do later today, this weekend. If you do, that's okay, but let your thoughts slowly settle, like sand settling at the bottom of the sea. Not trying to make the thoughts disappear, just turning the volume down on them a tiny bit. And tuning in to this moment. Take a moment and think about what brought you to your mat today. What brought you to this yoga practice? What do you need in this moment? What would you like to cultivate a little bit more in your day? And if something comes to mind, that's awesome. Set that as your intention for class today. If nothing is coming to mind, that's okay too. Set your intention for class as simply being here, being now, listening to your breath. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. If you're lying down, make your way to seated now. Just take small circles with the head, with the neck, massaging out the shoulders and upper back. Switching now, circling the other direction, nice and slow. If you're doing these circles and you find a spot that needs a little extra stretch, feel free to stay there for a breath and then continue on in your journey when you're ready. Returning to center, we'll move into a gentle twist. Take your right hand back behind you and prop yourself up on your fingertips, almost like it's a second spine holding you up. And then take your left hand across to your right knee. Breathe in, sit up tall. Breathe out, twisting gently to the side. Each breath in brings you a little taller. Each breath out twists you a little deeper. Returning to center, switch sides, taking your left hand behind you now, right hand to left knee. Breathe in, sit up tall. Breathe out, twisting gently to the left. As you breathe out, relaxing into this twist. On your next breath in, return to center. Make your way to your hands and your knees. With your hands flat on the mat, shoulders on top of the wrists and knees hip distance apart. You can point your toes or tuck them under, whichever feels better in your body. As you breathe in, allow your belly to drop towards the ground. Turn your gaze forwards and slightly upwards. As you breathe out, round your spine. Allow your gaze to turn inwards. Breathing in, dropping the belly, gazing forwards. Breathing out, rounding the spine, gazing inwards. Continue to move through these motions at pace with your breath, allowing it to guide how fast or slow you'll move today. And if at any time your body's calling for it, feel free to take extra movements. Maybe that looks like shoulder circles in your shoulders or your hips. Maybe in your whole body, sticking with this basic rhythm of inhaling to move forwards, exhaling to move inwards, but also exploring. On your next breath in, return to center. Tuck your toes under if they're not already there. Hover your knees an inch above the mat. Hold here. Get nice and strong and wide through your shoulders. Shoulders directly on top of the wrists. One more deep breath in. Breathe out. Lower them down. Point your toes back behind you. Take your hips back to meet your heels. Take your forehead down to the mat. Resting here in child's pose. If the mat feels a little far away from you today, you can take your hands into two fists stacked on top of one another and take your forehead to rest there. Wherever you are, breathing here, focus your attention inwards on yourself. Allow your thoughts to settle once more. Then slowly, when you're ready, walking yourself back up to all fours and then up to standing on your mat. Standing with your feet flat on the mat, hip width apart, toes facing forwards, arms relaxed by your sides, palms facing forwards. Taking a deep breath in, root down through your feet, nice and strong. Deep breath out, relax here, find spaciousness and expansion through your upper body. Now you can keep facing the front of your mat. I'll turn to the side here so you can see a little better. On your next breath in, reach your arms up high. As you breathe out, hinge at your hips and fold forwards. You can hang heavy here with your arms hanging, or if you'd like, you can grab onto opposite elbows with your hands. Then you can stay still. You can rock gently side to side, whatever feels good in your body today. On your next breath in, make your way up halfway to a neutral spine. Your hands might be on your shins or on your upper legs. Breathe out, relax back down. Then breathe in, slowly roll all the way up. Take your arms overhead, hands through heart center and down to your sides. We'll move through 3 of those now a little faster, each one flowing straight into the next. So start with your feet planted, hip width apart, finding that strong, solid base. Breathing in and up, out to fold. In halfway up, out, release. And all the way up, straight into the next one, folding. Halfway up, releasing. All the way up, last one. Fold, halfway up, release, all the way up, arms overhead, hands through heart center, hold here. You can keep your hands at heart center. You can take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose as you fill up your belly and then your chest. Also breathing out through the nose, letting your chest fall back first and then your belly. 2 more like this. One last breath. Opening your eyes, allowing your arms to fall to your sides. We'll try a bit of a balance pose now. So shifting your weight into your left foot, Pick up your right foot and use some options. You can keep the toes on the ground, take the heel against the ankle. You can take the sole of the foot to the inner leg below the knee, or the sole of the foot to the inner leg above the knee. So you just want to make sure that you're not pressing through the knee itself. So you can find whichever version of those 3 options you'd like. And start with your hands at heart center. Focus your gaze on one spot on the wall in front of you. Find your balance. If you'd like, you can take your arms up overhead or take your hands apart. Whatever version of this tree pose feels good in your body. And if you're swaying side to side like a tree or rocking gently or falling out, that's okay. Return to the tree each time you fall out. It's a practice. It's a practice of trying and returning. One last breath in. Breathing out, let your arms fall. Shake things out. We'll get ready for the next side. So shifting your weight into your right foot. Again, the 3 options. Toes on the ground, below the knee, or above the knee. Find whichever version you'd like. And start with your hands at heart center, focusing your gaze on that one spot on the wall in front of you. Focus in on your breath. And again, you can stay here. You can take the hands up to the sky, maybe arms apart. A nice little trick here is that as you push your foot into your leg, push your leg back into your foot. Let those resisting forces help you stay steady. One last deep breath in. Breathe out, release your arms, shake things out. We'll do a bit of a warrior sequence now, so step your way to the front of the mat. And then take a big step back with your right foot. You're going to make about a 45-degree angle with it, as if the right toes are moving to the top right corner of the mat. Your heels are approximately in line. Your left foot might be a little bit wider. Bend your left knee so it's directly on top of your left ankle. Take your arms back down and swing them up. Warrior 1 here, breathing, holding, finding a stretch in the back of that leg. And we'll move straight into Warrior 2. So now turn your right toes to face the side of the mat. And find a straight line between your heels. Your left leg hasn't moved at all. It still has that bend in the knee. Arms are at shoulder height now. Keep your shoulders and hips facing to the side wall. Gaze forwards past your left fingertips. Hold here in a Warrior 2. Taking a deep breath here. Breathing. Feel as though there's energy shooting out of your fingertips in opposite directions. Then take your left arm to meet your left leg. Send your right arm up and over your head. Breathe in. Reach your fingertips to the front of the room. Breathe out. Turn your chest up to the skies. Your shoulder stays where it is. It's from your chest that you're moving. Think of it right from your sternum. Breathing here. Then windmilling back up to your Warrior 2. Turn your left palm up to face the ceiling. And then tilting slightly backwards into Reverse Warrior. Your right hand going to rest very gently on your right leg here, so there's no weight through it. You could remove it if you needed to, and you're just gazing up at your left hand. If you do want an extra arch through your spine, instead of just dumping backwards, think of lifting up through the ribs to allow you to arch here. And breathe. Returning back to your Warrior 2, straighten that left leg. Pull your left arm forwards as far as you can, and when you can't go any further, hinge at your hips. Let your left hand rest very gently against your left leg and gaze up to your right hand. Triangle pose here, and don't think about reaching to the ground. Instead, think about opening through the right side. You might need to rise up an inch or two to allow that to happen. So as you breathe in, you think of making a straight line. Your tailbone all the way up through to your head. And as you breathe out, you think of the opening through the chest. And if you can keep that right arm up, keep it up. But if not, feel free to let it rest on your low back. Breathing here. Dig into that back foot, windmill up to stand. Slowly walk your feet together, whatever that looks like. Shake things out. We'll do that whole sequence on the second side. So step to the front of your mat. Take a big step back with the left foot to your Warrior 1. Toes to the top corner. Bending that right knee directly on top of the right ankle. Taking the arms up to the sky, holding here. Couple of breaths. Returning to yourself. Moving straight into that Warrior 2. Keep the right leg right as it is. Take the arms to shoulder height. Turn the left toes to face the side of the mat. Find that straight line between your heels. If it means you need to walk your foot, do so. And then gaze forwards past your right fingertips. This time feel as though your fingertips are pulling you in opposite directions in this nice strong warrior two here. Breathe. Taking the right arm to meet the right legs and the left arm up and over the head. Breathe in, reach those fingertips to the front of the room. Breathe out, turn the chest open to the sky. Feeling the opening in the whole side body here. Windmilling back up to your warrior two, right palm up to the sky, tilting forwards and then back, gently resting the left hand on that back leg, gazing up at the right hand. And again, if you'd like an extra arch, think of lifting through the ribs to give you that little extra arch in the spine. Coming back up to the warrior two, straightening that right leg. And then pulling your right fingertips as far forward as they can possibly go. When they can't go any further, that's when you hinge at your hips. Letting your right hand again rest very gently against the right leg so you're not putting any pressure through it. Gazing up at your left hand, think of a straight line all the way through both arms. You can also choose to let your left hand rest on your low back here to give your shoulder a bit of a break. Wherever you are, breathe in, find length in your spine. Breathe out, find that twist in the chest, the opening, maybe rising up an inch or two to allow that to happen. Digging into the outer edge of the back foot, windmill back up to stand, shake things out, walk your feet together. And we'll do one last half sun salutation. Rooting your feet down into the ground, breathing in and up, breathing out to fold. Breathing in halfway up, out, release. Breathing in all the way up, arms overhead, hands through heart center, and down by the sides. Make your way now to sitting on your mat. Take your feet together and your knees apart, hands at your ankles, and slowly leaning forward, let your chin move into your chest. Nice and gentle here, breathing, holding, releasing. Making your way back up to seated, we'll give our shoulders a little stretch. If you're comfortable sitting here, you can stay here. If not, you can move to cross-legged or up on your knees, whatever feels good. Take your arms out to shoulder height, and then cross your right arm over your left. Bend your elbows and take your hands maybe to your shoulders, maybe the backs of the hands to meet, maybe the fronts of the hands to meet. Wherever you are, lift your elbows up to shoulder height. And then if your hands are out, you can also think of taking the hands away from you. Nice, gentle shoulder stretch here. Releasing the arms, shaking things out. We'll do the other side. So again, arms out to the side, crossing the left arm over, bending those elbows, maybe hands on shoulders, maybe backs of the hands to touch, maybe fronts of the hands. And I'll just move to the side here to give you a bit of a side view of what it can look like. Wherever you are, lift those elbows up to shoulder height. And if you have your hands extended, you can also take those out and away from you. Breathing here. Releasing, shaking things out. Make your way down to lying down on your back. Take your knees in tight to your chest, rocking gently side to side. Maybe making small circles with your hips if that feels good. If you are circling your hips, make sure to switch and circle the other direction as well. Coming back to center. Back to stillness, and we'll move into happy baby here to let the whole body release. There's lots of options. Start by taking your knees apart. You might stay here, pulling your legs towards you. Another option would be taking your feet as if they're going to stand on the ceiling. And if you're going to do that, you can grab onto the legs, or you can grab onto the outer feet. If you are grabbing onto the outer feet, don't have the arms outside the legs. Instead, let the arms move inside the legs. And then pull the feet down towards the shoulders. Nice, holding here, and you can stay still, or again, you can rock very gently side to side. Couple of breaths. And then releasing your hands, releasing your feet down to the mat, shaking things out. If there's anything else you'd like to do before moving into a final resting posture, feel free to do that now. When you're ready to rest, you can let your legs be flat on the mat, arms at your sides, palms up. If you're lying here and there's any discomfort or tension in your low back, take your feet flat on the mat, your knees up, and take your feet wide. Let your knees fall in to support one another. Palms still up, closing your eyes. Holding here. Tune in to your breath. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of your belly. Staying here, lying down where you are, we're going to start to slow down the breath, to lengthen it. I'll count in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4. Move your breath towards this count. And it's okay if it doesn't take the whole time to breathe, but try to stretch out your breath to that whole 4 counts for an inhale. And then the whole 4 counts for an exhale. If you want, it might be nice to take both hands to your belly, or one to your belly and one to your chest to help you really tune in, but you can also allow your arms to stay by your sides. We'll start all together. Exhale, let out all of your air. Then breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, and 4. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Allow your arms to relax at your sides, palms up. Feel your whole body becoming heavy, sinking into the mat, into the ground beneath you, knowing there's nowhere else for you to be. There's nothing else for you to do, but just be here, right now, in this moment. Slowly bringing your awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, making small circles with your wrists and your ankles, stretching your arms up overhead for a full body stretch, and then rolling over to your right side, using your right arm as a pillow. And when you're ready, slowly make your way up to seated to end the class. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today and allowing me to guide you. And I invite you to thank yourselves for showing up, for reconnecting with your breath, with yourself, for finding a moment to remember what's important, to set intentions to continue to cultivate those things that are so important to you. The light in me honors light in each and every one of you. Namaste.